All right, welcome back. Let us continue. Welcome back. How was it? How many cups of water did you drink? All right, so we want to organize our Photoshop. When you open your Photoshop for the first time ever, it is unlikely that you are going to see what you can see on my screen right now. Okay? It is very unlikely. Your screen may look disorganized. These are panels that I had to customize for my own liking, and then I'd like to show you how to do it. I should show you how to do it. Most likely when you open your Photoshop, your layers panel will probably be like this. There will be some other panel between these color swatches, gradient patterns, and then this layer panel. So it's probably going to be like this. So you need to expand some, collapse some. You need to add some, remove some. This side, where we have this A and this P crow, I think that's the word for this sign, P crow, yeah. And then uh, properties icons. All of these three were not there when I opened Photoshop for the first time. They were somewhere else. I had to arrange them. So you need to organize your Photoshop, and I'm going to show you why. Now look at this screen. This is how it was when we came in. Number one reason why this is like this is that I do not often use these colors or the swatches or the gradients or the patterns. I hardly use them, so I had to collapse them to make them really small because I do not use them. Okay, now I made layers panel way longer because I use them. I use the panel a lot, and you will get to understand why the layers panel is so long on my laptop. Let me quickly show you something. On this design, artboard 1, it has 35 layers. If you look down here, please follow my mouse. It has 35 layers and one group. Now look at my layers panel here. I'm going to turn off this one, and then this two, then we only have this one left. Look at this. On this scene, you remember I said that when you create your design, you have a blank screen, so you begin to add layers upon layers. You will add text, you will add colors, you add adjustment, you import images, you import stuff that you need. Okay, so you start to build one at a time, one step at a time, one thing after the other. Okay, so imagine after building so much, you now have 35 layers and one group. Okay, this design has 35 layers, one group. Now let me quickly do a run through on this thing, and I may be speeding up this part before uploading this photo. So solid color, I'm going to create a solid color. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how these things work. And then this solid color, put it here, and then it is the only thing we can see on the screen now. So in the design, what I did is I added this color under this one. It's a gradient. You will also learn what a gradient is. I added this color, then I added this image, the blurry one. I made it blurry. It wasn't like that at the start. Added another image on top, then added this one on top of that. This is an image I took. It's a picture I took with my phone from my other laptop. Then added this shade of color to it. Added this texture fill to it. Can you see the way it looks now? It looks something graining, like a grain. Then I add some more colors to this side. Then I added some dark colors to this side. Then I'm revealing everything on this design. Then this one, I did not eventually use this. Then I added this text, Photoshop Immersion, and then I added program, the text. And then I think I did not, okay, I added this rectangle, and then I added my picture. Look at the picture down here. Do you see that it is dark? Then I added the what? some brightness to it. It becomes brighter. Okay, then I added this part, this little Photoshop icon, and then added this part, right? Where is it? Yeah, it's down here. Then I added this PNG Photoshop icon, and then this text: build a successful career in graphic design and photo editing using Adobe Photoshop. Then I added this: join the text, the one on top here, join the Photoshop Immersion Program. And then this group, the one with app like this one, I can hide it. So I'm revealing everything that makes this design. I will reveal this logo powered by 61 Studios, then this one YouTube icon, then the color inside of that U, and then starting 27th, then 5 days of free online training, task and question and answer, then this one, right, then this one. So you build layers upon layers. Okay, so imagine we have this many layers. This is how we got here. We had this many layers, and then your layer panel is now like this. Let me do something. Let me make it smaller. I collapse it like this. Now to see the remaining layers, you have to be scrolling, and then you can only see two layers at once. It does not make sense, right? If a layer even has layer hair, look at this layer effect, layer styles. It's just one layer you can see. So imagine your layer panel is like this. It wouldn't make any sense. Okay, so you need to expand it so that you can see. Look at the colors here. We don't need to see this much, so you collapse this side, and then you can see more layers at once. It makes your work easier. So that is what I'm driving at. So you arrange these things, and I'm going to show you how to do it in just a short time. Now before I begin to show you, or let's just start that way. When you open your Photoshop, it's likely going to be like this. You have this thing out like this, you have this thing out like this, then you have this thing out like this. Okay, so you have panels, upon panels. Look at, does this look good? It doesn't. So we have the character panel floating out here, we have the paragraph panel floating as well, then we have the properties panel also floating in the air. So if you have many artboards on your design, then even normal panels are already taking your design space. You can't see well, so you need to arrange them. And when you open Photoshop, it's very likely that they will be unarranged like this, so you need to put them where they belong. Now let's do that. Now it is also possible that some of these panels are not visible when you open Photoshop, so you may have to add them by yourself. I'll close this by clicking on that X button. I close this one too by clicking on the X button, and this one as well. All right, then I will have to bring them in all over again. So you go to window is up here, window. You may not have to close them, but sometimes it's not everything that you need that you get to see out there, so you have to add some of them by yourself. Okay, so what you do is you go to window, and then you look for the name. Now there are many panels here that you can need, but remember I said I will teach you what you need at the moment to get started. There are many of these, I don't use them. So you will need the character panel. You click on it, and then it will show out here. Then we need the paragraph panel. You click on it, it will show out here. So you go to window and you click on it. If I click on it again, it will disappear from my screen. Can you see? Then I'll go back there, say windows, and then paragraph. Then window, I want to add the final one, which is the properties panel. Can you see? So having this now, what happens is that they are all over my screen, so I need to arrange them. What you do is you drag them to this corner. Okay, you drag them to that corner. So let's put the character panel first. I'll collapse this. I may not have to collapse it. You can just click on this part of it, right? The top of it, you click on it with your mouse. Now let me quickly mention something. Designing with Photoshop or with laptop generally requires you to have an external mouse. The mouse pad, the trackpad that you use, the one that comes with your laptop, cannot really do well with design because sometimes you have to use your two hands to work on the mouse pad. But with an external mouse, you just have to click and drag, and that's all. You can use just one hand. So I'll click on the name of this character panel. No, not even the name. This top of it. You click and drag. When you click, you hold and drag. Do not release your mouse. So if you are using your laptop mouse, you click the normal click. You click on this side. Look at where I'm putting the mouse. You click on it, then you use your second hand to move it on the mouse pad until you reach this side. I'll do it again. So you click on this top and then you don't release your mouse, you drag it until you reach this place. When it gets to a place that it can stay, a place that is proper for it, this blue light will show up, right? Look at that blue light, that what is the word that goes around this scroll bar, right? So when you see that blue light, you just release your panel and then it will fix inside. Okay, you can collapse it. Look at these two arrows that point to the right hand side. If you click on them, then it collapses the panel, but you still have the character there. So anywhere you see this A, it means character. It's a character panel. Then paragraph. I wish you could do that while watching this video, but I need you to do this. You click on the name here, on this empty space, you click on it on top, hold your mouse and drag until you get under this one. Now look at it, this blue here will first pop up. Don't release your mouse, because if you put it here, it will add another level to another column to the panel list. So what you want to do is you drag it under this A and it gives you a blue box, this one that pops up. When you see that blue box, you can now release your mouse and then that panel will stay under character. Now the reason I join character and paragraph panels together is because both of them are used to configure text or type. In Photoshop they call it type. Okay, so you can use the two of them to configure your type. That's why I put them under each other. Another reason I'm putting them under each other is that because they are in the same level, in the same hierarchy, when one is up, the second one cannot be up. So when I expand character, paragraph will be collapsed. When I expand paragraph, character will be collapsed. So if I click on this A, the one that has this icon will collapse. If I click on this icon, the peak row, the one with A will also collapse. Just watch. I will click on it and release now. Can you see that the one with A has collapsed? So they cannot be together at the same time, and that is good, because if they were to be together at the same time, it means that your screen will be messed up. Look at this properties panel now, it's still hanging. Okay, the properties panel is still hanging. So you want to also bring it inside. You click on this top and hold and drag your mouse. Do not release your mouse while you are still dragging it. So you take it and put it under the same thing, the same level, then it will stay there. So of these three now, they are working together. If I click any of them, the other two will collapse. I'll click on character and then you see that paragraph and properties panel, they have collapsed. If I click on the paragraph, the remaining two will shut down. If I click on properties, the remaining two will also go off. So that is one way to adjust your look on Photoshop. One thing I've not explained is that I only mentioned that you need to make your layers panel bigger so that you can see many layers at the same time. However, I didn't say how you should do this. Remember I said you can drag the properties icon to this place until you see that blue and you release it. Now same thing, let me do it again. You drag it here and you see that small blue, the blue light, and then you release it. Here, once you move your mouse to this place, in the case of layers panel and then colors and swatches and gradients and patterns, once you put your mouse here somewhere and you see that the mouse icon has changed to an arrow, when the arrow faces up and down, then if you click and hold, please, you click and hold. If you drag it up and down, one side of it will expand, the other side will collapse. Can you see? So down, up. When you move the mouse to the edge like this and the arrow faces sideways, the 2 points they are facing the sideways, then it means that you can expand to the side. So let's go left, something gets bigger, let's go right, something gets smaller, left, right, left and right. Okay, so that way you can know how to adjust your stuff. So you can push it to the left, push it to the right, then you can push it up, push it down and then push it up. Okay, so that is the way it works. I hope you are understanding. Oh, that's big bad English. I hope you understand. Okay, if you don't, please drop a text on the comment section or on the WhatsApp group or directly to my DM, which is the most unlikely to get attention. But if you put it on YouTube, I will see it fast. If you put it on the WhatsApp group, I will see it fast, or somebody else will see it and communicate your need to me. All right, so that's how you deal with these panels. You add some, remove some. I've told you need all these three. Please add the three. Funny thing is that, let's say I select Photoshop Immersion text here. Now Photoshop is funny. I just clicked on Photoshop Immersion and it selects that particular layer. It is selected here, right? It is selected on the artboard, and then if you look at the layers panel, it will select it and highlight the name. So I want to click on this Photoshop Immersion here, but watch this side, this layer panel, and see what happens. It will select the layer that has this pixels, this Photoshop Immersion. Just watch. I'll click in one and click. Can you see that it goes to Photoshop Immersion down here and selects it directly? That is only possible because I have checked this auto select, this one, auto select. If it were not checked, if you click from now till tomorrow, nothing will be selected on your artboard unless you click it on the layer panel. Okay, so what you do is you check this auto select. All right, you check the auto select and you click on anything, it will select it immediately. Now look at these little boxes on the edges and on the sides. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, all of these ones you can only see them because this show transform controls is also checked. These two are important. Okay, I said I'm going to show you the essentials, the things that you need and the things that can stress you if they are not in place actually. So this auto select must be on. If you need to click, there are times that you turn it off when it stresses you actually, because sometimes it will select what you don't want to select. All right, or as it is now, I've clicked on join the. Now if I want to move it around, if I click just anywhere and try to move it around, you click and drag, it selects something else. Can you see that it has selected something else? Okay, so at that point you may want to uncheck this auto select. If I uncheck it, even after selecting this join the and then I uncheck it, that join the will be active no matter where I click on this artboard. So whether I click on my face here and try to move it around, it will still work. Can you see? Can you see? It is not going to select any other thing. It's not going to select any other thing because that auto select is off. Okay, But if the auto select were on, I can click on anything and move it around. It will obey me immediately. However, if the auto select were off, now I can't click on anything and move it. Right? If I click it to complain, it will tell me something. Could not use the move tool because no layers are selected. Okay, so I must have auto select on before I can directly click on the artboard to select anything. I hope you understand. If you don't, please, no question is stupid, no question is foolish. Just ask your question, you will get an answer, I promise. Okay, so we select this one, auto select, and then it's on. Now before I got here, I mentioned that there's something funny about these three tools, these three icons. If I click on Photoshop Immersion, I click on character will show me every feature that I can control on this Photoshop Immersion, and I'm going to make an example of that. Okay, so here we can control the fonts. I can come here and select any other font that I want. Right here I can control the font face, but this one only has one font style, which is regular. Here I can control the size. This 38, I can change it to 14 and become smaller. Here I can control the leading. I think that's the leading, or yes, let me check. um it's supposed to over, yes, leading or leading. Okay, now the good thing with Photoshop is that when you put your mouse on an icon, it will tell you what that icon stands for. For example, if I come here, it will tell me, if I just leave my mouse on it, it will bring out this pop-up. It says rectangular marquee tool, and it will write the function under it. The function is that it makes a selection in the shape of a rectangle. If you put it on another icon, it will tell you what it does. So that's another way to explore and learn Photoshop. Okay, you check what each item does by just putting your mouse on it and waiting for like 2 seconds. It will tell you what that icon does. All right, so on this character panel, I can change a lot of parameters. I can increase the character spacing. Can you see? I can reduce the height. Okay, I will undo that. I can change the color. So if I click on this color, I can select another color. I can move this slider up and down to select, to change the color, to do like this and like this and like this. Okay, I can do a lot. Also in paragraph, I can also change some things on the text. So I click on this paragraph, it will expand the panel, and then I can centralize the alignment. Can you see? I can put it on the right hand side. I can do a number of things. There's indents and all of that. Now where I am going to, when I said there's something funny about this three, is that everything I can do on this character panel, everything I can do on this paragraph panel, I can still see it on the properties panel. Okay, so once the layer is selected, please listen and follow this. When you want to do anything on Photoshop concerning any layer, you must select that layer. Okay, once that layer is selected, you will see everything that you can apply to it here. Anything that you cannot apply to it will be faded like this. It will be disabled. I think that is the word for it. The state of that button will be inactive. So as I said, everything I can change under character, including the font, including the font size, the leading, the character spacing, right, can be found under this character panel, properties panel. So here is the font. I'll change it back to what it was. I think it was at Stillfish. No, it wasn't Stillfish. Okay, let's check. Could it be Stillfish? Yes, I think it was. And then the size was 30 something. I think let's try 34. And the lines, the character spacing was like 0. Yes, it was Stillfish. but there's some adjustment that I need to do on it. So I will just undo so I can go back to where we started from on it, and then here we are. Yes, so it was still fish regular 38.94 in size and all of these things. So under the character panel, everything that concerns that text, you can still see them here, with the exception of a few, which you can see when you click on this three dots to show more. Okay, so once you have your character panel, you can do almost everything that you need to do on your type. Okay, on your type tool or your text layer. Do you understand? I wish you could give me feedback now, but if you don't, please ask questions either on the group or on this on the comment section of this video. Okay, so that's the character panel, the paragraph panel, and the properties panel. The properties panel can do a lot, and the properties panel will reconfigure based on the layer that you have selected. You know, now we have selected a text. In Photoshop, it is actually called type. Okay, we have selected it. It will give us the characters or the properties of a text, especially the ones that we can configure and reconfigure. But let me click on a rectangle. Let's select this one, rectangle. Rectangle. Yes. Now watch my screen. Watch this properties panel very well. When I click on text, you see the items, the parameters that will come out here. I'll click on text in one and click. Then it gives us the character, the font style, the line height, font size, and then the line height, which is also the leading, then the character spacing, which is also the tracking, then the color. Okay, then it shows the paragraph because it's text. A text can be a paragraph text. Then it shows other options, all caps, small caps, blah 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 blah. Right, that is the properties panel. If we click on another element on this page that is not a text, the properties panel will configure itself to fit that particular layer. So I'm going to click on this rectangle and then watch what happens to the properties panel here, to the parameters, this place where we have characters, where we have colors. Watch what happens to everything there. So I'm going to click in 1 and 2. Can you see the changes now? So now it has width and height that we can configure. It has color, it has stroke. Stroke is the color around the shape, like this dash lines, all these dash lines. That is a stroke. In Photoshop, it is called stroke. Then it has this one. I think this is edges, right? And then it has this one and this one. And then it has this radius, corner radius, that we can increase. Look at the rectangle, please. Increase and then we can decrease. Look at the rectangle. Now it has sharp edges. But if we increase it, it becomes round. Okay. So everything that you can do about a layer, you can see it on the properties panel, or let me say most of the things that can be configured about a layer, you can see it on that properties panel. So these three panels, they work hand in hand: character, paragraph, and properties. Character and paragraph mostly for text and type. In fact, it's not mostly, they are for text and type. Type is tool or is text in Photoshop. Okay, then the properties panel will show those features and other features depending on the layer that you have selected. All right, we are going to continue this class from another video so that you do not get tired. Please check these things out, the stuff I've talked about: opening a file, setting the size, and making it an artboard and all of that, duplicating artboards, creating new artboard beside an existing one. Please practice on those things. I'd like to see your screenshot on the group, and I'll see you in the next class or in the next video. Thank you so much. This is going to be an amazing ride.